That's my belief.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think we're just, we're going to capture a lot more. And Meredith is actually our editor of this project,
great.
She's producing this.
Oh, that's great. And she's on vacation. So look at what she has to look forward to.
Yeah, exactly. So I promised her I would listen and
Okay.
I'm gonna ask you an assortment of questions, and then I'm gonna ask you, my last question will be why art?
Okay.
Yep.
You're gonna.
That's already recording.
Perfect.
I'm catching all of your information.
Sure.
So why does art matter? Is that your final
Yeah,
question?
why does art matter? But I'm gonna ask you, and I want you to answer on the ball, because you're really good at it. My first question for you is, who are you at Castleton?
I'd like to consider myself as a conduit for compassion, for learning, for sharing, for spreading positive messages of love and joy, and probably a very, very stable human being who students can trust and approach without fear of judgment.
And what is your actual position?
Sitting in this chair right now. But other than that, I guess my official title would be Adjunct Professor of Communication. Pardon?
And what is your name?
Oh, my name. My name is Robert Wuagneux.
Nice. Did you like this book?
Yes, very much so. Matter of fact, I think it has all the right ingredients. It has sex, drugs, rock and roll, explosions. Has everything. Dysfunctional families, intrigue, government skullduggery. Has all the things that would really make for a fine contemporary novel, especially for this particular age group, and actually for any age group. But in particular, I would think that the post-high school up until probably second, third year of college, and beyond. I mean, you can get deeper with it. But for our purposes, absolutely. I think it's an excellent novel for students coming in.
How could you relate this to a freshman coming into Castleton State College?
Actually, that's the question that I asked my students to do. All my FYS students have to look at the book, and when they're reading, capture a scenario that they can personally relate to that has impacted their lives, whether it be a dysfunctional family member, whether it be a family member who unfortunately has succumbed to some type of a substance abuse, another family member who has experienced love lost. I mean, all of the things, and I'm getting in the papers right now, and the first wave have already been turned in, and they're great. I mean, they've just been responding exactly as, I want them to use the book as a tool. I don't look at it as an academic exercise. I really look at it as a way of building community. And one of the things that I strive to do as an instructor is build community in my class. I want them to be able to exchange and feel comfortable sharing their ideas in my class, because my class is about inquiry. It's not about information. The information you'll gather on your own, because you'll listen, you'll pay attention, and you will also research. Because I throw out many questions. Over on my left right here, who might not be seeing, is Megan. She can attest to that.
What do you think the book committee was thinking when they chose this book?
I think they were thinking like, wow, we have a great book here. I'm in the process of reading, I'm down to the last one right now. I am on the new book committee, and I've read them all except for one. And I have two that I kind of like. I haven't read this last one yet. And I haven't been as bowled over by the books that I had. They're good books. I'm not saying that because they are good books. But this book had something that was a page turner. It made you want to, it provoked curiosity. Much more than telling a story, it really provoked curiosity, because the premise alone is extraordinarily exciting.
What provoked you the most?
I think the fact that all the unknowns. First of all, it plays into the philosophical, plays into the ethical, it plays into the practical. So whatever seat you want to sit in, you can really get something out of it. I mean, just at the in utero piece, from the beginning, it's kind of cool, because my own belief system says that we come here by design. It's not an accident. So that whole thing with the in utero piece, it made me chuckle, because I said, well, that's sort of like what I believe anyway. You know, we came here, and so it played into my belief system. But besides that, it also gave me an opportunity to say, I wonder how other people would think about this. Because it does fly in the face of certain types of belief systems that are not necessarily as open-ended and open-minded as mine. So this may provoke people to shut down because it's something that they just refuse to accept, this type of process. And that would be a shame, because I think our job in higher education is to get people to think, not to change their beliefs, but get them to think new. And so that's what I'm about.
And does everything matter?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And more importantly, does art matter?
Well, that's the big question. And when I first saw that question, I walked in to see Megan. I said, there's a question, right? Yeah, oh, yeah, I got a question. And she read it to me, and I said, who in thunder thought that question up? And I said, oh, I get it. Okay. Well, yes. Does art matter? I'll give you the short version, and then I'll give you a little bit of an extended follow-up, okay? Because, as Megan knows, I'm a stickler for examples. First of all, I think, why does art matter? Because it's the ultimate form of diversity. You cannot find a better form of diversity than art. First of all, because of perspective. The number of people that are affected by art, whether they like it or not, because art is such a personal thing. And looking at art, it's a refuge. I mean, it can provide you for reflection. I know that when the first time I saw a Monet up close and personal in Paris, it was like, I'm telling you, the first time I saw Seurat, I was at in Chicago, and I don't know if you know about the punctums, but Seurat does. I had to go up and look at it. Dang, those are dots. They really are dots. And then the mathematical piece that made me want to go and say, how the hell did he do that? So I realized that he used math, and the middle is not really, you think it's the middle, it's not, it's way over here. So it provoked curiosity, and art, again, it provokes sympathy, whether or not you're going to look at, for example, the Pietà. How can you not look at the Pietà and not say, wow, but there's some real stuff going on there. Huh? And I've had the privilege of living in Italy and living in Rome and going and seeing these things live, and overwhelmed as a young man and later on as an adult by just the power of the visual. Not one word, there isn't a word, it's just the visual itself. And then you realize that, we're in this unbelievably chaotic world, and here's this thing called art that just all of a sudden stops you in your tracks, and you're put into a whole different mindset. You're locked onto whether it's your own feelings of compassion, your own feelings of maybe even anger, whatever it does resurrect within you. The power of art, again, is just so diverse. And I wrote a few things down, and I did because I think it was important. Because art can be funny. Art can be very, very, very funny. I'm a big Richard Pryor fan. Richard Pryor was funny, and so was Red Skelton. And when you look at those two comedians, they are about as 180-degree different. Red Skelton never used a foul word in his life. Richard Pryor made a career with it. Okay? But it was funny, and it was artistic the way they did it, because they put their own personal stamp. And I think that art is about putting your own personal stamp on something. Every one of us is an artist. It just, how much of it do you want to explore? Some people are afraid to explore themselves. People find much more comfortable keeping things at a distance. Art, if you're really involved with the process, is really about self-involvement. It's about reflection. There's no way you can escape that if you're truly interested in art, because it moves you. Whether, as I said, whether the reaction is funny, whether the action is crying, whatever the emotion that is spawned by your contact with that art, it just creates within you more of you. It gets you in contact with yourself. And I think that this book particularly does it because of the nature of the themes that are developed. The brother theme, the family theme. It delves into what people can relate to from a perspective that, of course, is from the author. And again, we have to live with what the author's impression is, because he's guiding us, like it or not. But one of the nice things about when a book is well written, the author no longer has control of the way It's a guided imagery, no question about that. But if the job is done well, and you're starting to go off on your own, you're starting to think about, that was kind of interesting. I don't know if I would have done that. Again, if you're going to get involved, if you're going to exchange with the art itself. And it's also a teaching tool. Art is a teaching tool. Art teaches us about the world around us. It makes our lives, besides being beautiful, it also gives us opportunities to learn. By learning, again, as it affects you and effects you, it really encourages you to participate in the life process. Again, if you're going to get involved in it. So why does art matter? It matters to me because I am involved in the art process. And I am a creator in my own artistic expression, which is music and lyric and performance. I do those three, and I really take a lot of pride in it. And you're only as good as your last performance, like it or not. And so art, that art of creation, I guess you would say, it just keeps me from being bored. It really does give me a sense of who I am as a human being. And I think, why does art matter? Does it mean anything to me? You bet. It makes me feel much more human. And I find my place in this particular place called Earth, in the universe. I know where I am because of the fact that I embrace art as a way of living my life artistically, whether it be in the classroom, whether it be doing this right now, whether it be whatever I'm doing. I like to bring my own personal stamp to it when I'm put on the spotlight right now, meaning spot to express myself. But I like to also listen to what other people say because I learn so much by listening.
Was there any point in this book, and give specific examples if you can, that the author no longer was guiding you, but you were guiding? You mentioned before that you said that there was, if you write a good book, the author loses its guidance and you start to guide your own thoughts and guide your own imagination. Was there any time in this process where you found yourself, and give specific examples in this book, where you started guiding your own imagination of?
Well, I didn't like the fact that he was going to be involved in an explosion and kill people. I thought that was totally a moment in time where I said, gee, I don't know if I would have done that. I don't think that particular moment, had I been that person, I don't think that I would have been as affected by the peer pressure that was put on me with that. I also really liked, he had two endings with his dad. I thought those also were very, very, very interesting, how he approached that. Also the fact that there was this little gap that sort of bothered me, was that where he sold out to the government. All of a sudden we find him in this dark room somewhere being told that he has to do this cure or whatever he has to provide, or else. Again, I would have liked to have known I was some more steps that got me there. I didn't necessarily, there was a big gap, how that all transpired. And I also think that his relationship with that young lady, you talk about stepping on your, I won't use that expression. You talk about shooting yourself in the foot. You just keep wanting to take this guy and you want to ping him in the ear and say, yo, dude, straight up, what's your problem? What's your problem? And as I'm reading, I'm like, come on, man, what's up with you? And you get yourself talking to the book, then you know you're involved with the book. Because you're saying, this doesn't make sense. This is like silly. Why are you doing this? What is it about you that you don't like, that you're chasing this woman away? It's got to be about you. She's not doing it. You're doing it.
Well, thank you very much.
You're welcome.